Welcome to Sapien Analysis.
Well, just to give you a sense where we started,
Uh-huh.
okay, when I got to Yale, there was already a department of Black Studies, and and so one of the women approached a professor of history and said, should there be a department of women's studies? And he said, well, there's no department of dog studies.
Wow, really?
Yeah, my class particularly had this as a huge problem from our peers. But I know when I went into the work world or when I went to start doing things and I was successful, I had asked, well, what did I do to him to get him to say that? And, I think that it took a long time for women in general to be empowered to say, hey, you have to take us seriously for who we are. And by the way, we're a market. And if you're talking that way, we're not going to buy what you're selling. And so, I think we were kind of on the vanguard of empowering women to be strong and not to give a plug for us, but as I'm in my 70s and my peers at school are in our 70s and we're all still going strong.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a new model of, I think older women in our society were expected to sort of disappear.
Right.
And, you hear about that in theater, you hear about that in movies, that there's no role
Yes,
for
of course.
older women.
Unless you are Meryl Streep.
Right. If you're Meryl Streep.
Right.
But, I think that we are saying, no, women have a contribution to make and we have a strong contribution to make. And just because we're older, we don't disappear. We still have things to say. We still are in leadership positions. And it's a different model of what it looks like to get older.
Right.
And I am not going to be invisible. Thank you.
Yes, of course. It's very interesting also that if you see, and this is probably kind of like on the psychological thought process that Hollywood has and had and still has, that when they think about older actresses who are now, like Meryl Streep, and I forgot the English woman, I'm forgetting her name. Anyway, Judi Dench. So these, I don't remember that they were very successful, like super successful in their younger ages. It's somehow that Hollywood has an idea that it's like probably kind of a male kind of idea that I have seen you and kind of thought of you as a very vibrant young actress in many movies. So I don't want to see you in your old age.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. I mean, Meryl Streep and some other actresses, Jamie Lee Curtis,
right?
For example, who was just in a movie I saw, and I'm not remembering the name of it, but
she's doing more movies there in last couple of years.
Yeah. But she was in Bear, okay, which is the TV show that's been so incredibly successful. And she's the mother and she looks very aged. But, women are criticized for aging.
Right.
Women are criticized for allowing themselves to have wrinkles. And I think Sally Field is another one.
Right.
Criticized for aging and, not having cosmetic surgery so that we all look like, Jane Fonda or, I'm blanking on her name. She played Erin.
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts. We don't all look like Julia Roberts. And,
right.
If you're a woman and you let your hair go gray, which obviously I didn't, And but your face is showing signs of age, people criticize it. They actually comment on, that there's something wrong with you or there's something
Right.
bad. I've yet to hear anybody say anything about Jeff Bridges
Right. Exactly.
or Clooney. I mean, men are allowed to age.
Right.
Men are, and if anything, gray hair makes them look distinguished.
Right.
Sir Anthony Hopkins,
Right.
who, by the way, is also on the spectrum.
Oh, really?
It's Asperger's, yes, if anybody
Oh,
that, but, men are allowed to age, men are allowed to look older,
right.
whereas women aren't. If you are
Yeah.
not young and attractive, then, as I said, older women should disappear.
And how many women actually kind of basically went through physical mutilation, to stay relevant in that field, like Botox injection and all those things,
Right.
which
I think,
basically destroyed neurons in your face, right? It's just,
well, I think that, I think the message to women basically is that you are decorative. You are valued for your looks.
right.
And if you don't look young and attractive, then there's something wrong with you. I mean, look what's being criticized about. I'm going back to Hillary Clinton. Her voice was too strident, her hair was this, her pantsuit was that. And who cares about a man's hairdo?
Right. Right.
A man speaks decisively, he's seen as assertive, right? And
Right.
so you see all these actors who are older actors. I mean, I'm old, but when I was around when Mick Jagger was a kid, right? If you told me Mick Jagger would be in his 70s jumping around the stage singing Rolling Stone songs, I would have thought you were crazy.
Right.
And yet he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sir
Yes.
Elton
Yeah.
John, Sir Paul McCartney, all these people, they're in their
Exactly.
70s and they're still out there doing concerts.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And so
Still.
men are allowed to be older.
Right. Yeah. I think the narrative it's changing. It's going to change eventually. It's kind of like social evolutionary process, like biological evolutionary process, just takes time. From monkey to becoming human, it just took millions of years. So at least the social evolution is faster than that.
This video is brought to you by Alora Online. If you love our fantastic videos, guess what? Alora Online can create amazing content for you too. Want to elevate your brand with top-notch videos? Check out the Fiverr link in the description or send a private email for more details. Act now and snag some exclusive discounts. Don't miss out. Contact Alora Online today and take your content to the next level.